I think it really has to do with the reputation, the quality of what Liberty Coach stands for. The brand itself has a significant meaning in the industry, without a doubt. It goes back to something that my dad had said to Kurt and I many years ago. We were in a marina, and Hatteras was the name, was the boat, was it, right? And Dad always said, whatever you guys do, make sure that that name, Liberty Coach, stands for something and has longevity. And it has to do with the serviceability, has to do with the quality of what we put in and the timelessness as well. There's a lot that goes into that name on a daily basis.
I remember when my dad mentioned the fact that he was going to make his first interior in a bus. I was skeptical of that, thinking, how is he going to do this? And, there wasn't very many of them out there at that point in time. You always just saw Class A's. So it was real interesting, building our first one, being involved with it. I was quite young then, but the experiences from that, has evolved to what we see today. I spend all my time in North Chicago at the manufacturing facility. I design all the floor plans, all the new concepts and designs, be it the soffit designs, window designs, floor plans. A lot of those start out with a hand sketch on a piece of paper. I put them into 2D CAD, and then we develop 3D models from that. I walk the design process through the manufacturing shop, starting with the cabinet building, the installation phase when the cabinets are put into the coach, when the upholstery work and things like that are going on, and following the design from start to finish. This is true for every coach we build. When customers come in and do the selection, or if we're designing one for a show here in Florida. The same process goes through. It's a very hands-on type of operation. It's pretty much my daily responsibility, among others, but I enjoy doing that, very much so.
Probably the biggest signal advancement that we made in technology today in the last few years has been the lithium-ion battery product with Volta. The 58-volt system, the doors that opened up for us to be able to have a system that now we can see a battery system that probably is going to last 30 years. Whereas, before we were looking at a little over 10 years or maybe beyond. And then before that, when we were just into the gel batteries, you were lucky if you got 4 or 5. It's an expensive change. What we did is extremely expensive. It's all American made. We're very proud of that part of it. And it's proven to be a very, very good system. Now you look at other things that, we do, the remote control systems. My son Alex does the Crestron programming. He also works with the Volta system. I brought the Crestron programming systems in back in 2001. Those continue to evolve as well. Graphics packages, what have you, that make the system easier for customers to use. How the coach is wired, the basis of everything. Make sure that all that is wired properly, the wire runs are properly done. There's a lot that goes into that to make sure that all that technology works. It's difficult to stay on top of it and to be as responsive as you want to be or that the customer expects. In today's world, the texting, the emailing, it's not so much people calling on the phone, it's, they've reached out to you personally and have found that avenue to get there. And so the response to that, you have to be able to keep on top of that and make sure it's quick and get to the right people and get the problems resolved. We're out in front of everybody as much as we can. The tractor trailer rig, known as Big Red, it's now parked up north. It's been 4 or 5 different places so far this year, and we're going to be there in front of the people, and that's another way to do that. And the one thing that we see at our events that we do is people enjoying the event, enjoying their coach, because they don't have to worry about that. The guys are on it, we've got a system set up, and they're on it, and they're working on the coach. They're trustworthy, they're professional, and there's a feeling that the customer has when they're there, that it's going to be taken care of. We're blessed to have Kim, there's no question, and of course Kurt, my brother. The process that we go through, the coach gets sold, we then have timing where things start to happen as far as going into the paint with Dean Laux. That design work gets done between the customer and Dean. Then there's timing from that point of when the customer should schedule the visit to come up north to the manufacturing facility in North Chicago. I try and make those trips for everyone as well, so that we're all on the same page as far as how the sales guys sold the coach, or if it was me involved with it, whatever, so that we're all on the same page of what's going on. Kim does a phenomenal job in walking the customer through all of the facets. We've had customers recently that have ordered large boats from Europe, and they have come in and done the interior selection with us, and they get to the point at the end of the day, they said, we had no idea the detail that you guys put into this. And they've owned other Prevost coaches other than Liberty coaches, and made the same comment that the detail that we go through, or that Kim goes through, for every facet of it, so everybody knows what they're getting at the end of the day.
So what I do when I have customers coming that are coming to pick out a new coach, they'll come to the showroom and I'll sit down with them and we go through the floor plan with Kurt. We usually have a big plan laying on the table, and we'll go from the front of the bus to the back of the bus, and we'll talk about any custom features they want, any design inspirations that they may have, go through the coaches that are online, and then we literally pick out every surface in the coach here. And a lot of them need guidance, which is great because that's what I do. I have a plethora of samples to choose from, ranging from crazy colors to more subdued colors, and basically I'm getting them comfortable with going down a path of creating something that they have envisioned in their head in the bus and making it all flow together and work.
You know, we still are the only ones out there at the level that we are to buy the amount of coaches that we do, or consign them if people want to get out, or that we're taking the stuff in on trade. And again, with the other company, the Motorhome Exchange, the same thing. You know, that was opened up in 2013. It brought a completely different set of eyeballs on the Liberty coach, and so that has also helped the resale value maintain that as well. Nobody is going to be able to go through a Liberty coach and make sure that it's ready for you on a used position better than Liberty coach. Nobody, period. I go through each one of the PDIs that are done on these coaches. I review every one of them when they're done before they go into accounting. So I know and can see how much time is invested. I know what the points are that we are touching, and do we need to touch other points that are added to the PDI list. So there's a significant amount of hands-on here that goes on at the top level. We try and stay on top of everything that's out there, not just the next GWIS thing, because we get these things back often. You know, we'll sell a coach 7-8 times. So we need to make sure that whatever we're doing has got to have some long-lasting capabilities, so that we're not having to replace it, re-engineer it, you know, come up with a completely new part or completely new design if something were not to work out right, you know. So with that said, we still try and keep on top of the best of what we can, and the equipment wise as well, to make sure it's very high quality. But at the end of the day, everybody's very comfortable with how the system, or how the coach is going to come out. Kurt's involved in that as well, to make sure that if there's going to be any design changes, or we want to change a cabinet, or we want to have the doors look a little bit different or something like that, Kurt has a phenomenal ability to sketch all that out, and it's not going to look something like that. That's how it's going to look. He's amazing that way. So there's quite a bit that the family is completely involved in, and now our kids, my son Alex, Kurt's 2 boys, are involved as well. So it's great to see all this come together. It's great for my parents to see it still as well, that we're all still involved and still doing it. You know, I'm really good with numbers, and so I can correlate those to paint schemes, and it's amazing how, you know, Denise will say that we're coming up to it, and I'll say that's Coach 824, or that's, whatever. And she goes, how do you do that? And it's, because, and they're on the third owner of that coach as well. This is so-and-so, because I make it a point to know as many of the customers as I can. And it's a sense of pride, when you see it.